Hey there, Dr. Satcher, and this is my Substack, Regen and Rise, where I talk about joint vitality. So, after 40, weight loss can backfire, and here's why. You would think that losing weight would make you feel better, like you'd have more energy, less pain, better movement. But I can't tell you how many women come to me after 40 or 50 or 60 and say, I lost the weight, but I don't feel stronger and I actually feel worse. I feel more tired and fatigued. I feel like I'm more stiff. I feel like I have headaches sometimes. My neck is stiff, and they're confused. They've got brain fog because they did what they were told to do. And they took the medication and they followed the nutrition plan and they did lose weight. But we've been taught that lose weight equals get healthier. But after 40, the equation breaks down because your body is no longer just responding to calories. It's responding to number one, hormones, stress, sleep, muscle signaling, nervous system load, and weight loss actually can accelerate decline instead of improving health. And imagine that all these toxins that you've been exposed to have been accumulating in your fat and they're slowly leaching out when you're losing weight. Muscle becomes harder to maintain, recovery takes longer, hormonal signaling becomes less stable, cortisol is more of an influence, and insulin sensitivity becomes more fragile. In women, this happens in perimenopause and menopause, and it's more amplified. And in men, declining testosterone does the same thing. We call that andropause. So you're more likely to lose muscle strength and stability, and that causes fragility and frailty. And it's less likely, you're less likely to lose visceral fat. If you have inflammation, it's harder to put it out, that fire. And then it causes metabolic dysfunction. So this shows up as joint pain and fatigue. And it's not random. The body has lost a lot of its anti-inflammatory support. The muscle is what protects your joints, and these GLP-1s actually can cause muscle wasting. And muscle is really what stabilizes your spine, your pelvic floor. And when you lose it, you can feel it. So I would encourage you to tune in and to read the rest of this in the blog post. But where does GLP-1 fit into this? Let's talk about that a little bit and then I'll wrap it up. So if you're not intentional with taking GLP-1s, you eat less protein, you reduce strength stimulus, and you lose muscle and lean mass faster. You're starting to lose it anyways when that estrogen is plummeting or that testosterone is plummeting in midlife. And your sleep is getting worse, so that's stirring up more cortisol, and the cortisol is like burning. Instead of fat, burning fat, you're making more fat and it's burning up muscle and making ligaments weak. So what are we talking about with GLP-1 rehab? We're talking about protecting and rebuilding muscle, supporting hormonal signaling, structuring nutrition, reducing stress load, and creating sustainable fat loss. This is not about doing more, it's about doing the right things and measuring them. So if you look at my blog, I do talk about body composition, and I try to get everybody I work with to do a body composition. We've got body composition tools in our office. We've actually got a scale that has it incorporated. You can purchase scales that incorporate it. But bottom line is, you're not going to know whether you're burning fat or not until you actually measure the fat. The visceral fat is the most important. If you're just using your tape measure, you can measure your waist to hip ratio. And you can look up online what that should be normally and then what's out of range. And I talked to you in the blog about a case that I recently had in my office that we had success with, in a lady who had lost weight, but it turned out that she had visceral fat that was above where it was optimal. And so we helped her make some changes, and that helped her to get that under control. But before she came to us, she felt helpless. She felt like she was doing everything she was told, but was losing weight, but didn't feel better. She noticed that her clothes were fitting better, but she also noticed that some parts of her body didn't look as toned as what she would like. So there's a whole method to achieving all the things that she wanted. And that's the puzzle that we put together. That's the detective work that we do when we first start with you and getting labs, measurements, actually getting data. And there are also devices that we like to use when people are working with us. Apple Watches, the Whoop, the Aura Ring. These are all good tools. The Hume, they have a scale and they also have a watch. All great tools. There are other tools too, like measuring blood sugar tools, measuring expired CO2 tools. There are lots of tools that we can use to measure your metabolism and how fast you're burning sugar. So go to the bottom of the blog and sign up for our next cohort, which is the GLP-1 rehab cohort, where we're going to work together for 8 weeks and help you achieve what you want to achieve for your health, for your body, and your wellness. All right, this is Serena Satcher. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.